We thank you for staying with us on your election headquarters. We're going to be kicking things off, starting with Odododiodoo, and Winston Taki is our man on the ground. He joins us with the very latest live updates. Winston, is rather very early. What can you report? Are people putting up stones, queuing, and getting ready to vote?
Hello, I'm actually at the Odododiodoo constituency at the forecourt of the station, at the forecourt of the Jamestown police station. And at the moment, they are sorting out the ballot boxes for the presiding officers. So as I take you around, I'd like you to see what is happening here. It's rather a busy morning where the presiding officers are picking up their boxes before they go to their places of monitoring the election. So there are various persons here taking up their boxes to their allocated places within the constituency. Already, the presiding officers have been spoken to by the EC officials of the do's and don'ts, especially with regards to the election. So many here currently is a busy place. As I take you around, you can see it's been a quite busy morning right now. Everyone here trying as much as possible to get the allocation that has been appointed onto them by the election official. So it's rather a busy morning here, and I'm also here trying as much as possible to report to our viewers who are seated right in their homes this morning. Omavi.
All right, Winston, there at the Jamestown police station. So what is happening right now? Polling materials being dispatched to the various polling centers. Winston Taki with the very latest update. We'll go back to Odododiodoo for some more updates on the ground to check if those materials have been finally dispatched. But Evans, let's talk about Odododiodoo for a minute.
Yeah, let's do
It's an interesting constituency, isn't it?
It is. Let's do so. I mean, Odododiodoo is a stronghold of the NDC. And if you go back into time, and let's just start with where we know we ended the last time. This is Odododiodoo in your shortly. I'm going to expand it just so that we can focus on it a bit more. And that here is what you see in your shot. I'm just going to circle it so we can get a picture of what happened the last time. And you see there that because the NDC is a very, very strong place for the NDC in terms of its ability to win that area. And over time, though, we've seen that the MPP wants to win that area. And so it creates an area of context. And I've covered Odododiodoo before. I was there in 2008. But at the last time, John Mahama won it. John Mahama won it by, what, 55.4%. Now, between that and what you see here for Nanado isn't that significant. But this is an overwhelming stronghold for the MPP, for the NDC, in terms of its ability to just give them significant votes. And Greater Accra is going to be very interesting. Everybody else wants something there. I want to pull up the trends. The trends tell you a story of the NDC winning this significantly. Everybody wants to hold on to Greater Accra. If you want to hold on to Greater Accra, you want to keep what you have. But NDC has been dwindling. You see it on your screen there over the period. If you go back to 2012, this is last time they had anything above 60%. They are going into this year's election with momentum slowing at 53.8%. What this means is the contest is going to be keener this year. The MPP knows that they need to do a bit more to cross that mark. With the presidential the way it was, you're expecting that Baumia will do a bit more there. But you have Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo there being very popular in that area and across the country. At the parliamentary front, they've been struggling, but have won that area before. And that, for me, is something that the NDC is aware of and also knows that if you have Nilante Vanapoy, who is very strong. You remember this story about Mr. Bannerman? Exactly. So this area tends to pose a bit of a challenge security-wise. The police always has that area as one of the flashpoints. And I'm not surprised that very early in the morning, people are already beginning to queue. One of the things we need to also do is to pay attention to the area in terms of its poverty dynamics. That is a very poor area of Greater Accra over the period. And if you pull up the thematic, that tells us a story. Let's go back to 2015. The last time the data was available from the Statistical Service. Now, what we do here with our poverty heat map, the lighter the shade, the less poverty you have in the area. The darker the shade, the more poverty you have in the area. This is 2015, the last time the Statistical Service gave us data for what poverty looks like in the area when it comes to the Odododiodoo. And it is lighter. If you look at the severity, it's just 1.84%, and then incidence at 15%. What happens in 2021, the last time we know this was available, this has gone up. Severity is now 43%. What it means is that people there are poorer as we speak right now. That obviously tends to influence the outcome. You have a lot of fisher folk in that community, a lot of uneducated folks in that community. When it comes to teenage pregnancy, I live very close to the Odododiodoo when I grew up there in Koloklote. You begin to see that then began to have an impact in terms of education. We've been there, for example, for our just turned 18 conversation. And many people there told us that education was a key thing. If you look at the multi-dimensional poverty indicators, and we were looking at a few things. One of the things we looked at in the multi-dimensional poverty indicators in Odododiodoo, and I want to pull that up, it tells a story about how, you see how dark it begins to look in that part of town, right next to Odododiodoo. You begin to see that in Ayawaso Center, for example, and you go to a place like Dadekotupon, and you go to Koloklote, and right next to it is where you have Odododiodoo showing up in terms of its multidimensional poverty in that area. Right? So that is one of the things I want to show in terms of its nature. But Greater Accra generally, maybe look at this. This is the poverty heat map for Greater Accra in 2021. Look at what happens there in 2015. You immediately begin to see that something has happened in Greater Accra. Lighter the shade, the less poverty. The darker the shade, the more poverty. And I'm going to circle Greater Accra for you. And this plays out across all the areas. This area here is lighter in 2015. If you take that off and then you flip it to 2021, the story changes almost instantaneously.
Right. All right. We're going to continue with that analysis, but I also want us to take a quick trip to Ashiaman, where our man Carlos Kaloni is on the ground. Carlos, good morning. Carlos joining us via Zoom. Carlos, tell us exactly where you are. I know that you're following the materials being dispatched right now. What's happening? Carlos, if you can kindly unmute so we can hear you. Carlos Kaloni is our man in Ashiaman, giving us live updates now. Carlos, tell us where you are.
Yeah, Mama V, I'm right in front of the Future Scholars Academy, which is actually one of the 357 polling stations in this Ashiaman constituency, where you can see long queue has already formed behind me. Many of the people I've been speaking to here said they got here around 1 a.m. And earlier, I was at the district police directorate where polling materials were being dispatched to polling stations. And so far, according to the officer there, they've done more than half of that, and they are still doing that. Other parts of the constituency are busy with a number of people parked and waiting for buses to convey them to other parts of the country. Those I spoke to earlier, many of them said they were on their way to the Volta region, the Adan area, and they have heard that some member of parliament have actually made arrangements for them to be transported to those areas to cast their vote. But it's important to note how crucial this Ashiaman constituency is. You know, since 1992, the NDC has dominated this particular constituency. MPP won it just once. That was somewhere in 2000. And so this is a crucial constituency for this election, being, one of the most populated constituency among the top 5 in the country. The NDC is counting heavily on this to win this election. And on the ground, a lot of people are so much excited about the fact that they're going to cast their vote today and they're expecting that the process is actually going to be peaceful. I'll try and speak to a few of them to see what they make of the situation. So you're live on Oil News. Give us your name and tell us how long that you've been in the queue.
My name is Samuel, but people call me Ash. I came since yesterday. I'm expecting peace because you should remember that Ghana is bigger than any political party. Even when you read Matthew chapter 5 verse 19, it says, "Blessed are the peacemakers." So I'm expecting nothing but peace, so that at the end of it all, Ghana will be.
All right, thank you so much. And so that's just one of the voters who actually got here as early as 1 a.m. Mamavi, the situation is interesting because across the constituency, queues are forming and the number keeps in it. And so we'll keep you posted on what happens here. Just some few meters away from here is where the MP for this constituency will be casted. Down here, the MP Kinesa will also be cast.
And
there are about 6 candidates in this particular constituency. One we are told has pulled out, so now 5 of them are vying for the seat here in the Ashiaman constituency, Mamabi.
Carlos, thank you very much for that report. Carlos reporting from a stronghold of the NDC, Ashiaman. Carlos will be back with a lot more. It's interesting that as at 1 a.m. we find citizens queuing, getting ready to cast their ballots. Let's cross over now to Tema East. Mamiesi Thompson is joining us via Zoom from Tema East. Mamiesi, what can you report this early?
Thank you, Mama V. So I'm currently at Padmore School here in Community 1, part of the Tema East constituency. And as early as last night, there are voters here waiting to cast their ballots. In fact, I've been to a few polling stations earlier, and people were there as early as 3 a.m., 4 a.m., waiting for the electoral officials to come and set up to begin the election. But over here at Padmore, people were here early last night, around 6 p.m., and have still been here till now. I have one person with me. I'll walk towards that person so that we can interview him why he was here that early so that we can get more information from him. Hello, sir. Good morning. You're live on Joy News. You were here yesterday as early as 6 a.m. Why were you here this early?
We are here to vote. To vote for Ghana, but not for individual. Yeah, not for individual.
You were here as early as 6 p.m. last night. 5 p.m. Oh, even earlier.
Yeah.
So why? Why is it so important for you to get here at this time?
Yeah, it's very important. As I said earlier on, you get to vote. Okay. Yeah. And then, as a youth, you know what is ahead of you. It is December. We are in December. Month to vote.
Okay.
You need to be here to make the change in communities.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. So, Mama Vida was one voter who was here as early as 5 p.m. last night. I have here with me an old woman who is also seated here, ready to cast her. Mommy, up to then. You're live or Joy News. It's a catcher and other Hanumano pay Manana Wabo 5:30. And a bit more of you now, but later, I'll just now bantam them.
My bantam was send a Modamaman. My bantam, no matter what, and no matter if you would be a namak a wire fine. Oh, no, Mamma, Marshall and Taminam Dapa.
One got in there, and then you be there. Okay. So, Mama V, what this old woman is saying that she came as early as 5 so that she can she can vote and go back and finish whatever she's doing at home. The others two here who've also been sitting here for this long. Let me speak to this gentleman. Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you doing? You're live on Joy News. Tell us why you're here this early.
I saw Bantam about to the international. Now, we have a da, but now a salary now by no baby. I saw Bantam, no basala, because a unipo baby. Otu baby now coffee, now cool. Where you the Otu baby you could I be bad 3 days per hour today. Sauce. The only answer to a baby, I was about to this over. Otu be a coffee. Oh, the cocoa. None. You're being a Ghana. Baby, be a gun. Yeah, no, say discuss show. I hear you ma. Why need you ma? You know, say otu abeli akoko. Na ko yewe. Sem bent. That's how I'm about so be.
Yeah, that's it. So, Mama V, this man, as you heard earlier, is saying that he's here to cast his vote, live here. He doesn't want any form of rancor going on here. So, Padmore is one of the biggest polling stations in Tema East. And as we know, Tema East has always been an NPP stronghold from 1992. But in 2020, NDC broke that chain, and Ni Ashai Odamtin won for the parliamentary seat in the Tema East constituency. But we understand that the NPP is coming up strong this time around with their candidate, Yohani Ama Ashite, so that he will recover or regain the NPP's confidence in this constituency, if I should say. So we're here, Mama, we were still monitoring events. We're hoping that all goes well in the Tema East constituency. We'll still be getting more as and when it comes along. As we speak, the Electoral Commission officers are not yet here. We know that the materials are here. They are getting ready. Their materials are here for them to set up. But the officials we haven't seen setting up yet, and that's been the situation in other places as well. And we're wondering why. 4 years ago, at that time, we knew that they were already set up and getting ready to conduct the election. But at this time, we haven't seen that yet. We've seen their materials around and whatnot. So I just saw some of them just come in, and then they have now started setting up so that they can conduct the election. And so we'll be coming your way again with more as and when we get them, Mama B.
Thank you very much, Mami Esi Nyamiche Thompson reported there from Tema East. And it's interesting that somebody actually formed a queue as early as 5 p.m. last night. I'm wondering how he slept. But let's cross over now and go to Pusiga, where we have our man on the ground, Atongo Idrisu Kasim, live there for us, also joining us via Zoom. Atongo, good morning to you. What can you report? Exactly where are you in Pusiga? Atongo, please unmute for us and tell us where you are in the Pusiga constituency. Atongo, if you can hear me, kindly unmute and give us the updates. All right, we will return to Pusiga in a short while.
All right.
Okay.
So I can hear you now.
All right, go ahead.
Currently, I'm at the Pusiga Electoral Commission office, where election materials are being deployed to the various polling stations this morning. I was here last night with them as they were making arrangements. This morning, early at 3 a.m., officials, Electoral Commission officials who have been assigned to do the work were here this morning to take their materials. And as you can see my background, they are using vehicles to convey those who are going far. We have places where we work out on the fishes through back to convey their support. And Pusiga, we all know that Pusiga is NDC dominated constituency. For the number of years, NDC has been winning this state. And this year, we have a candidate who spoke to me earlier on this yesterday that he is standing for victory to turn the story around. Now, according to him, he said Pusiga is going to dominate in the media space after this election. And we don't know how that will mean, but I suggest that he's talking about victory. And as I'm speaking to you, plans are being put in place because they are yet deploying the electoral material. We have not been able to visit any center, so we are here to make sure they leave here before we move to. And this morning or today, being the election day, we are expecting 58,005 voted from this constituency. And we have 170 polling stations in this constituency Pusiga here as I speak to you now.
All right, Atongo, monitoring as election materials are being dispatched to the various polling centers in the Pusiga constituency. Let's go to another hot constituency, one that we're keeping an eye on definitely. Ningo Prampram, and Kwete Nate is our man on the ground. Good morning to you, Kwete. Where in Ningo Prampram are you and what's happening?
Mamavi, I'm currently stationed at the Methodist Primary 2 polling station, and I must say that voters have started forming queues at the various polling stations visited this morning. At least I've been to 5 polling stations, and I must say there have been a handful of voters who were either seated on benches or standing at designated spots. Some tell me that they came here as early as 2 a.m. and their reason was simple. They want to vote early and then go home. Let me speak to one of them and then find out why he was here this early. Inkpape minene obahie mlaja.
Inkpaye mla ma vote bene pene ma we mla.
The many time no bahio.
Imbasu yemle imbije we 3 o'clock imbasu yemle 3:30.
So this woman tells me that she came very early, and the reason why she came here very early is that she wants to vote to enable her go home. So that she will go and rest. And I must say, voting materials have been dispatched to this polling station. I think about 15 minutes ago, the EC officials were here. They brought the voting materials.
Nate reporting.
I have one of the voters also here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, officer. Morning, officer.
And what time did you come here, sir?
Let me say 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Why did you come this early?
I want to vote fast so that they see that I'm the first person who voted something. I want to vote earlier so that people see that I'm serious for this election.
Okay, Mama, so this is what I can report at the Methodist Primary 2 polling station.
And that's Kwete Nate reporting from the Ningo Prampram constituency. We see people standing and queuing, getting ready for this exercise this morning. And from where Kwete was reporting, materials are already on the ground. So election officials are getting ready to do the setup and start the exercise at exactly 7 a.m. We'll be going back to Ningo Prampram, but let's cross over and go to our Joy 997 studio where Kojo Yangsing is standing by. Kojo, good morning to you.
No doubt that across the world, eyes are all on Joy and ears are all tuned in as we wake up the nation getting ready to vote. And of course, the quick whip around that you've already done is showing just how seriously people are taking this exercise. And it's quite exciting to see. So we're looking forward to more developments as they evolve. And no doubt it's going to be an eventful day.
All right, Kojo Yangsing in our 997 studio. He will be bringing us a lot more. Oh, Kojo, there you are. We can see you now. How ready are you, though?
Well, I've been ready. I was born ready. I've been ready since the last election, Mama B. You know, we are so excited to be covering this historic election just because of what it all means. And we'll be having lots of very important people coming through Studio 997 today. So we'd love for you to keep your eyes on us all the way through because one of the important people who will be stopping by this morning is Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers. You know the important role he's been playing in diplomacy in the sub-region. And of course, because of his roots with the NDC, he has played an important role already in ensuring that they've come to the peace table. And we'll be learning a little bit more about how he did that. He's just one of many who'll be stopping through Studio 997.
All right, live there in Studio 997, Kojo Yankson. We will be going back to Kojo Yankson in a bit. But let's hit the ground again. Let's go to West Central this time around. Rafiq Salam is standing by. Hello, Rafiq. Good morning to you. What can you tell us? What's happening in West Central? Where exactly are you?
I am currently at the West Central constituency of the Upper West Region. You know, in the Upper West Region here, there are about 519,000 voters in the region in 1,284 polling stations right here. And so I am currently at the Limari polling station. This particular area, for them, voting is part of their life. And so you can see clearly that there are already a lot of stones that have been used as cues on the ground here. And so that's where I'm currently positioned. I've seen some people immediately after the Fajr prayers, they arrived. Some even came as early as 2 a.m. and then to keep these stones and then kicking stools, right? So let me try to speak to one of the early people who was right here in the person of Mr. Can you tell us your name? Why are you here that early?
I'm here early to enough to get me a nice to vote early and then go back to my vote.
This particular area, there are lots of people. This is one of the polling stations in that atmosphere that you have over 90% turnout. So why is it so?
Well, I think it's their interest. But for me, I see it as so an exercise my franchise, which is a national constitutional right, which I want to exercise.
Okay, so you can see that Mr. Samson is already ready, and then you can see other people. There are a lot of women who are seated here. You know, it's very cold. The Hamatan just started here in this region, and so you can see some of them even dressed like Eskimos right here in the atmosphere. So you can see the stools right here, kitchen stools, and also some are using stones. So this is a Limai for you, and it's part of the 1,200 polling stations in the Upper West region. So the Electoral Commission already, they have been able to put the polling booths right here, and then also the electoral materials also are here. So this is what is happening in West Central constituency. And then in the coming hours, we will be telling you what is really happening right here in the Upper West region. Rafiq Salam reporting for Joy News.
Will not allow you to miss anything that happens in Central. Rafiq Salam right there.